a long, long period of time. In fact, I even forget, Andrew, how long is it?
Oh, years. Probably at least 12 years ago now, I guess I started
But
that.
yeah. And Andrew gets around. I was speaking with a colleague this morning, and they said, "Oh, I saw you've got Andrew Tennent coming on the show. That'll be really interesting." So you've got to be really interesting, or you're going to let that person down. Very sorry to say that, but obviously, we were talking earlier. Mindset is something that is just so important in times of challenge, in times of change, and boy, do we have times of change right now.
Yeah, it's we see that when we have tough times, that people really lose sight of who they really are, and they lose sight of what they stand for, and then this leads them down the road of depression and things like that. So we've got to turn this around and refocus ourselves. So there's no better time to actually, sit back and reevaluate. Okay, who am I? What do I want to achieve? What are my goals? What are my values? What do I stand for?
Absolutely. Look, and as we're saying, in times of change, there is as many opportunities being created as there are, stories of woe.
Oh.
So, that is one of the things. Like, hey, should we just keep a positive attitude for the sake of being positive? Well, partly it doesn't hurt. And on top of that, it really is, when we're being positive, we will see opportunities. But when we're being negative, opportunities are just nowhere. We're not seeing anything but our feet.
Yeah, and so what happens when we start seeing negative or hearing negative or thinking negative, something sets in, and it's called fear. And as soon as fear sets in, you think about people when they're afraid of spiders or snakes and they see a spider or snake, what do? They jump and they freeze.
You know me so well.
Right? They freeze. So now imagine that in business. If you're a business person and fear sets in, what do? You freeze. You try and hide under a rock and get away from it.
Yeah.
This thing, it's not going to work if you do that.
That's it. Right now is a time where you need to be doubling down on your marketing efforts, not eliminating them. And even if that is doubling down by doing cost-effective means and cost-effective marketing, that's what you should be doing. You should be looking at, how can I get the biggest bang for my buck, or how can I get the biggest bang for my time? Because, right now the government have slowed things down quite intentionally so that we can, we're almost not going to be allowed to touch our partner soon, so that's going to be sad. But hopefully what we can do is have a bit of fun along the way. Focus on some of the things that are positive and make sure that we keep our spirits up so that we can see the opportunities are there. Now, I know that you've got a number of programs that you are running. You mentioned you're even working on a program to help people get through the next quarter or the next 6 months that you mentioned to me earlier. But you've also got an online program that's really quite interesting that we were talking about.
Yeah, so I have a online business growth program. So it takes you through a lot of marketing material, but there's a bit of mindset stuff in there as well. What it really starts to do is take you back and look at your fundamentals and the foundations of your business and reevaluate that. And there's no better time to do that than right now.
Well, that's it. Like even if I keep saying, I'm a very firm believer that people are sitting in one of three camps. They're either really, really busy, they're binging probably Netflix or something like that, or they're bored. Hey, let's use that time productively. And this is why we're doing 3 live shows a day where we're going to be bringing different education to the table. We are reaching out to the guys who've already joined the directory, and we're having a chat with them and seeing who'd like to put their hand up. And, I remember the very first we spoke about this, and I said, hey, we've got this directory. And you said, I'm in. It was really positive attitude, and that's what led to our discussions today. Now, this online program, you've got some really stupid offer right now.
Yeah, well, it's not stupid. I don't think it's stupid at all.
It's stupidly, unbelievably great.
Unbelievable. Okay, yeah, well, you can put it that way. But when times are tough, the way we get through this is by working together, cooperating and collaborating and that sort of thing, right? And trying to keep everyone positive and put a positive spin on things. So, you know, my membership site is normally $197 a month. And every week there's a new class, a new video gets dropped. There's all other learnings and that as well included. But I'm opening it up for free.
For what?
For free.
That's what I thought you said. So not even $1.97 a week.
No, not even that. It's absolutely free for probably at least 2 months. You know, we'll see how this, you know, pans out. The whole idea is we want to try and help businesses get through. And I know by going through some of the stuff in this course that they're going to improve their bottom line.
Yep.
Improve their profit figures, their bottom line figures. They're going to improve their marketing. They're going to improve their relationships with their customers. And that's only going to help them set up for when this thing passes. Cool.
So I'm going to hold you to this, that you'll keep it free for all of April and May.
All of April and all of May.
So they've got a trial free period up to the end of May to work out what's happening. And you may even extend that.
I might even extend that. If this keeps going, then I will extend that. Yes, for sure.
Fantastic. So that is, it truly is a really awesome opportunity. Now, I do know the courses that you're talking about, and I have done some of these courses. We had a bit of a chat about this, and I said, you know, hey, you know, it is a program that's being curated from all around the world, and some of the marketing stuff is a little bit American. And as we know, Australians aren't a little bit American. You know, I brought up the example of the guy that's, you know, outside Port Macquarie with the crocodile on his sign. And, you know, I was talking about this one day, and he's got world famous meat pies. And I was going, clearly not world famous. I didn't know about him. Anyway, Tony Curl rings me up after I've had that conversation with somebody else on a live thing. And Tony Curl goes, mate, his name's Fredo. It's Fredo's world famous pie. So clearly he's a bit more world famous than I thought he was. But I think we all should embrace our inner American from time to time.
Well, it is. The thing is, if it gets results and it works, why disregard it? You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, do you? You know, so
absolutely not. You need to be true to yourself, but you don't need to be, you know, but you don't, we do need to experiment. We do need to be doing something different. And particularly at times right now, we really need to be doing something different. And that's something that I'm very much encouraging people to do.
Yeah, and we see that at the moment. You know, the companies are changing so rapidly at the moment because everything's changing on a day-to-day basis. And there are businesses out there, and they're changing on a day-to-day basis. And they're trying to do things differently, because the ones that do things differently are the ones that are going to get through this better.
Absolutely. So I actually believe that businesses are going to come out the other side looking a bit different from how they went, and particularly small business. I think it's a great opportunity for us to look at how we can do business differently, and not so much, you know, just the online stuff, but how can we automate stuff? How can we've got a little bit more time to be working on our businesses. And so it's a really good opportunity to do that. Of course, you said you're looking at putting something together to help people at the moment. So we'll talk more about that, and definitely I'll encourage you to share that into the community as you're doing that at appropriate times, as we've discussed. Yeah. But we need to keep the group, you know, look, the group is working awesomely. We've got higher engagement than we've ever had. And that's something that's really true. So tell me a little bit about your philosophy on helping people.
Well, you know, I've been a business owner for a long time, and, you know, business, especially small business, you know, they're the foundations of any economy, right? And when you look at how many families are involved and the impact that a business has on families, you know, when we went through the GFC, and I've got a wholesale business as well, and we had, you know, 800-900 small businesses around Australia. And at that time, it wasn't too bad with them. But, you know, over those years, I've seen the breakdowns of a small business. I've seen what happens. The families break down. They lose their house. They end up with divorce.
The strong small business really does create strong communities. Absolutely. Because 45% of Australians, nearly 1 in 2 people, is employed in a small business around the country. Okay, so this is why the government is being so helpful and not just giving us lip service right now. They truly are looking to make sure that they are supporting small business, because if half a small business closed, we have 30% unemployment. and nobody can afford that. No economy can afford that. And that's why they are looking for how they can help us. So absolutely, the strong small business with that. So when it comes to helping people, where do you believe that people should start?
Well, they should be starting back again. They should be starting with them. So you need to look at two things: that, you know, what you value, what are your values, how you.
So when you talk about values, all these coachy people, they start talking about values. What do you really mean?
Well, it's what makes you who you are, because your business becomes a reflection of who you are. Your personality and the things that you hold dear in life get reflected through your business. So your business also has values, right? It becomes a living entity almost by itself. And the values of the business are a reflection of your values, right? So if you value helping people, you're going to see that business is going to also help people.
Absolutely. And it's about being consistent to those values. And I really get that. Businesses that are struggling quite often are being inconsistent in their values and the way they're putting stuff out. So we were talking earlier, and you said there were 3 basic questions that you get people to ask themselves when they come and start working with you. What was they?
Yeah. So when we're looking about the business, businesses, as I said, they can develop their own entity, and they can actually, like a ship steering off course, go away from where the owner originally wanted the business to go. So it's good to reevaluate and to ask yourself, what are you really selling? Okay, so what problem are you solving? So that's what you're really selling. Then ask yourself, who is your ideal client? And why should they buy from you? Okay, if you can answer those 3 questions, your whole marketing then gets based around the answers to those 3 questions, and you're going to see improved results in marketing.
Yeah, so it's a really important point, because so often it's easy to get sidetracked and taken down different roads, because hey, we're small business owners and we don't like to miss any opportunities. And so we try and spread our net so wide sometimes. And that in itself means that we are missing out on a hell of a lot of gold because we weren't digging deep enough. And so, yeah, going back to where do you want to go? Putting a stake in the ground. Excellent point. What problem is it? Who is my ideal client, and why do they want to buy from me, you? Whoever it is, that is an excellent point for sure. So Andrew, if people want to get in contact with you, how do they do that? If they want to go and grab this course, how can they do that?
I'll put a link below, but if you can go to elitebusinesscoaching.com.au, and you can go press the contact button, and then just send me your details and I'll set you up. It's as simple as that. So or you can go to my Facebook page as well and send me a message.
Absolutely. Even just reach out to Andrew Tennent in the community, but definitely elitebusinesscoaching.com.au, all is one word, and you'll find Andrew there. We will put a link down to his offer of jumping into the course for free. Look, there's a combination of marketing, of mindset, of different business strategies. It has a whole lot of information there. I know that Andrew's probably going to be working on a way that he can complement being involved as well. Of course, that's going to cost a little bit, but you'll get so much greater value out of that. And that was one of the things that we were talking about before he came on. So, I really want to make sure that, when you're there, what we focus on is what we get. What we focus on is what we attract. So if we're focusing on the scarcity mindset and what we don't have right now, that's more of what we're going to attract. If we actually start focusing on the fact that there is lots of support there from the government, from Brisbane small business, from your colleagues that are in small business, there is so much support out there for us. We are trying to hunt down someone who's involved in mental health, so we can talk about that a little bit more. And we're also looking to make sure that we can keep you abreast of all of the different support offerings that are out there. In fact, we're putting together a conference for next week where we will go through all of the different support packages one at a time throughout the day. There'll be a very small fee involved. It'll cost about the same as a large cappuccino. So if you can keep that in mind, that would be awesome. Andrew, thank you very much for today.
No worries. Just one final word. So guys, we want you to be positive and focused on this. So eliminate the negative things from your life, okay? Don't sit in front of the news, watching the news all day, because the news is full of negative stuff. Seek out things that educate you or entertain you or inspire you, okay? These are the things that are going to keep you in a more positive mind.
And that's one of the things that we are trying to do here. Thanks for that segue. That is one of the things that we're trying to do here. We're making sure that we're going to be getting you 3 different ways to improve your business every day. So one at 8 o'clock, one at midday, and then one at 4 o'clock. We will be working on that, throughout this time period. Hey, the first people we're going to are people who are the showcase members of the directory. I don't apologize for that at all. By joining that, we can help promote you to the community that's here. We're getting greater engagement than we've ever had before, and that's something I'm really proud of. As we're having more important discussions around helping each other, we're finding more and more people coming into the group. As I said earlier today, over 5,000 members came into the group yesterday. 60% of our community came in, which was absolutely fantastic for one day. So, you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to keep your head in the game, and that's one of the things that Andrew is absolutely great at helping people with. So please, when we finish up here, Andrew's going to put a link down. Don't hesitate to jump in, avail yourself of his free course, and reach out to him and ask him some questions about, what is it that he does and how can he help. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
And now we have that awkward little 5 minutes where